Could this be the best college football game ever to date? Let's find out. Let the beat drop! Welcome back to another video, everybody. Heroes Gaming, and man, oh man, dare I say, we may have the best college football game ever, and EA's only second iteration in their return to making college football games. It is it's amazing what we found out so far in just Dynasty and gameplay and presentation. But we still have to talk about Road to Glory next week or whenever they release that information. But the information that they released yesterday about 2 days ago, what was it, yesterday? Whenever they did it, about the Dynasty mode, it was amazing. It was just, I was shocked about all the information that they gave us. So we're gonna just go over the things that I liked about and what they told us, because it's amazing. They told us that when we create our coach, that we're gonna have way more outfits to choose from, like turtlenecks, hoodies, just whatever we want to choose from. Because last year I think we only had about 3 or 4 options, and it wasn't really that much, and I don't think really many people, I guess people complained about it, but we have so many options for outfits for our coach this year. So that is a big plus. That's a big W there. And not only that, in the Dynasty screen, in like the main menu of your Dynasty, your coach is going to be on the right side of the screen. And when he's on the right side of the screen, you get to choose whatever pose he wants that you want your coach to do, whether he's going to be just standing there, or maybe bent over on his knees, or maybe his arms are going to be crossed. I don't know all of the different stances that we're going to have for the coach, but I know that we're going to have some options for that. Not only that, but they talked about the trophy room, and they brought back the trophy room, and I think the trophy room is better than College Football 14 because it shows us national championship winners. That's a history tab. I'm getting too ahead of myself, but it's gonna show us all the trophies that we won in our Dynasty, in our Road to Glory, and the college football playoffs, and all of the individual awards that we've won in our Dynasty, and also the conference championships and all the bowl games and all that stuff. So that's going to be there. I think that's amazing. And another thing that they added, with as far as like recruiting, they added a team needs tab. So you don't have to go back and forth to your roster to see what you need as far as recruiting. You don't have to go back and see, okay, well, I have 2 senior quarterbacks, so I have 2 senior quarterbacks and a junior quarterback, so maybe I need to scout 2 or 3 quarterbacks. And then you go back to the recruiting screen, and then you start scouting quarterbacks. So now it's right there on the screen for you to see, and it's right there, and it's accessible. So that's, and a lot of these things are just simple quality of life improvements that they added to the game that was just missing last year, and is very much needed. It's just the little things that's what I say about these a lot of games. It's the little things that make the game replayable, accessible, and more fun to just scan through and play. And then another thing that they added was Deal Breaker is going to be changing every year for players. So maybe a player's first year, his playing time deal breaker is a B plus, and by the time he's a senior, his deal breaker for playing time could be an A plus or an A minus. So you have to make sure he's getting even more playing time as a senior. So I mean, I guess as a senior really doesn't matter because he's going to be leaving, but it makes more sense when they're freshmen. Their playing time deal breaker is a B plus, and if they're a sophomore, their deal breaker is going to be a plus or A minus. So you got to make sure that he's being played or he's going to want to transfer. So you got to keep every single year, you have to keep an eye out for those deal breakers and see what players are close to wanting to transfer out and making sure those players are happy. Moving on, we're going to be talking about recruits and costing more to recruit players that are further away from your college. Let's say you're Syracuse and you want to recruit a player that lives in California. Now, the players that you're recruiting in New York, because Syracuse is in New York, if some of you didn't know, if you're recruiting players that live in New York, it's going to cost 10 points. But if you want to recruit a player that lives in California, it's going to cost 40 points. So I think that's pretty cool. It's not going to be easy to recruit players from anywhere in the country. It's going to cost you, especially if you're doing a team builder team and you want to really start from the bottom. You have to really determine what players you really want to go after. Like, is it worth going after those players across country when you know you probably won't be able to get them? So I think that's pretty cool. And dev trait upgrade screens. So I don't know when this would take place, but I don't know if it's like during the season or during the off season, like during the training, that the screen is going to pop up. But whenever your player has a dev trait upgrade, it's going to show up on the screen as if like you won an award or something like that. I'm pretty sure this is going to happen in the off season when all the progression and the upgrading happens. And speaking of upgrading and training results numbers are going to be shown this year. I cannot express to you guys how much I was so annoyed by the off-season training and how much I didn't know my player got better by. He could be a 70 and then in the off-season he's a 75, but I didn't know in what areas he got better. I didn't know if he got faster. I didn't know if he got stronger. I didn't know if he could catch better. I didn't know if his spin got better. We can see that now. And not only that, from freshman to senior, your players will gain weight every single season, because it's a very big difference from when a person comes to college from high school and they're a freshman until they're a senior. Their body changes. So that's pretty cool also. And then also you can see the dev trait upgrades. But my biggest issue with training is that last year we could not manually upgrade our players. It was automatically done by the game and by the CPU. This year we can manually upgrade our players. And I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, it's too many players to go through and doing this and that. No, I want hands-on when it comes to upgrading my players. It's my team, it's my players. I'm the one playing with them. Let me do it. I will spend the 5-10 minutes upgrading all my players if I have to. Next, we're going to talk about physical and mental traits shown when you're looking at position changes. So whenever you want to maybe change your player from running back to receiver, it's going to show you what physical and mental traits are going to be changed whenever you're whenever you want to change that player to the new position. So you don't have to actually change the player, then go and look at the player card and see what changed. It's going to show you right there on the screen before you do it, so you can determine, okay, maybe this is worth it. So yeah, that's another quality of life improvement. Next, we're going to be talking about wear and tear. They added season and career for wear and tear. So when you're looking at your player, there's going to be a season tab and a career tab. And on the season, the lower it gets, it cannot refill. So you have to make sure you're really managing your players' wear and tear throughout the season. And then also, I don't know how they explained it, but I think whenever the season wear and tear like goes away, whenever that bar is empty, you cannot accumulate any more for the rest of that season. And as far as your career, the more you do wear and tear for that player for their career is going to go down significantly also. Still don't know how that works for like the season and career, but pretty sure that once it goes away for the season, you cannot like replenish it back for like the next game or something like that. But something to help you guys out with that is the wear and tear sliders. They have wear and tear sliders for different tackle types. For example, they have a wear and tear slider for sacks, catch tackles, hit sticks, all of that stuff. Not only that, but they have wear and tear sliders for timeouts and halftime recovery. How much a player recovers from the wear and tear from timeouts and halftime. That is insane. That is crazy. And they also have auto subs for wear and tear and the different little sliders that they have for that. So that is amazing. So moving on, we're going to be talking about the history tab. So they have a history tab, something like Madden added a few years ago with the Super Bowl history. So now we have a history tab, and this thing goes all the way back to like 1869 or like 1889, something like that. Whenever the first national championship game was played, it goes all the way back. And not only that, for the national championships, they have conference champions, they have Heisman Award winners, they have all of that stuff you can go back and look at. And not only that, if you go to a player card for a player who's like won an award, they have every single award that that player has won in their college career. My favorite thing that they added was formation subs. Formation subs are back, and I am so happy about that because there's certain players I want playing in certain positions, especially on defense. It helps out. It's going to really help out with wear and tear the most. Not playing all your linebackers every single formation. I want to switch up and put certain linebackers and certain safeties in certain formations. So that's going to really help out with me there. Love formation subs. I miss it. Madden needs to have it too. Next, we're going to be talking about season stats listed on the Heisman Trophy watch list. Man, this was so annoying last year. Going to the Heisman Trophy watch list and seeing the person in first place and not knowing what stats they accumulated that year for them to be there. Like, okay, they're in first place. Why? Why are they in first place? I don't see any stats. The only stats that they had listed was last game stats. Okay, cool, but what have they done the entire season for them to be in first place? It is now there so we can see what they've done the entire season. So happy about that. And then next we're going to be talking about dynamic lighting. And this bit was touched on in the presentation, but dynamic lighting is here and it's going to be different for every single team and depends on where you're going to be playing in the country. So that's going to be cool. And then also more pop-ups for just like the dev traits. We're going to be getting pop-ups for broken records. Last year, we wouldn't even know if our players broke any records. Like, we would have to just go in the records tab and see if we broke a record. Now, whenever we break a record in the game and we exit out that game and we get into the main menu, bam, we're gonna have that pop up letting us know that we broke the record. Next, we're gonna be talking about Team Builder. They didn't really talk much about Team Builder, but the stuff that they did I thought was very important. One thing that they didn't add that I really wanted them to add was pride stickers. There is a way to do pride stickers, but it's very tedious and it's not authentic. But talking about Team Builder, we have more storage for images for Team Builder, and then we have adjustable sliders for program, and it ties with Prestige. I think it's adjustable, but for example, Pro Potential, we can either have that at an F or an A+. That ties into our Prestige. Like, the higher all that stuff goes, the more stars and more prestige that our team is gonna have. So I think we can adjust that. I'm not for sure, but I'm not gonna want to adjust it anyways. It's gonna be all F's for me. We're starting from the bottom and we're going all the way to the top. But not only that, we can edit our roster. We can edit the name, the height, the weight, number, skin tone, skills, abilities, potential, all of that stuff for our players. And then not only that, we can create our own pipeline, and this is a big W for the Team Builder. We can create our own rivalries, up to 5 different rivalries we can create for our Team Builder team. And not only that, but we can name the rivalry any name that we want. If we want to name it, if you live in Florida and you want to create a new rivalry between your Team Builder team and Miami, you can name it the Gator rivalry, or I don't know, the Everglades rivalry or something like that. Any name you want for your Team Builder rivalry with any team you want to do, you have the ability to do so. So those are the things that I think that are important when it came to the Dynasty Deep Dive. There are a bunch more things that they talked about, but those are just the things that I think that are important to me and that I liked when they talked about it. So thank you all for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.